We filled our water bag yesterday before leaving port in Comox, and the top fitting must have been loose. Dumped all the water into the bilge. Pretty much empty here this morning. We do have 10 gallons still in jerry cans, so we'll put that in and make sure these fittings are tight before we do that. Something else we'll have to check over filling our tanks.
We only had a little bit of rain last night, but it was enough if you leave all your shoes outside.
Welcome to Sailing Instead, our story in 2 words. We are Jenna and Charlie, and together we are chasing our wildest dream, inspired by our first date, sailing on a lake in our home province of Alberta. With a new shared interest and wanderlust building, we decided now was the time to pursue an alternative lifestyle. We'd become full-time cruisers, living and traveling on our sailboat.
We found this rundown 30-foot sailboat from 1975, and for almost 2 years we worked tirelessly to make it our new tiny floating home. After 611 days and 2 more Canadian winters, we decided no more waiting. We would start our voyage and continue fixing the boat on the go. Come aboard and share in our adventure as we document everything along the way, the highs, the lows, and everything in between.
Royston anchorage. Jenna's set up to watch dailies. I'm gonna set up the Barracuda.
Heavy for this table, hey?
Oh, yeah.
Look at that sunshine on your face, though. So we're gonna unpack the sail. The mainsail has a big repair at the top. Needs, I think it's probably like a 14-inch seam that we're gonna re-stitch. Part of the reason we got the Barracuda sewing machine was to repair our own sails. Sail repair can be quite expensive. There's some areas on our sail that can be repaired by hand. We grabbed a speedy stitcher to help with that, which is basically a sewing awl. Helps you push the needle through many layers of thicker fabric. So today, because it's sunny out, we're gonna set up here in the cockpit for some sail repair, see if we can get that big main stitch sewn up with the machine, and then look at the rest of our repairs and see. Jenna has a list of all of the repairs that need done, and we'll kind of go through them and decide if they're a hand repair or a machine repair. Do what we can on the machine today with the weather permitting. And it's gonna be nice today and tomorrow. So we've got a couple days.
Just setting up here in the cockpit to do some sewing. Got our mainsail repair that we've been waiting to work on so we could actually get out and use the sails comfortably anyways. This is the big one. It's about an 18-inch seam. It's not a tear, but all the stitching has come out of the top seam. So luckily all the material's in good shape. We're just gonna run some new stitches. It's 3 rows of a zigzag stitch, and we're gonna have to learn what size it kind of punches at, so we'll do a little bit of practice with the Barracuda. The idea is to match the zigzags in the seam here, which should be the same high size as these zigzags in the next seam.
What are you doing?
I am trying to adjust the tension to get an even stitch. Practicing on the scrap that they sent with the machine so I can be happy with our stitch size and tension before repairing this guy.
Kind of cool you get to sew in your cockpit of your boat though.
Yeah, it's a nice sunny day, so we got some solar amps flowing and
A little windy.
the wind is helping charge up batteries so we can sew a little bit.
Back to work.
So I think I finally got the tension dialed in, and not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 adjustments. So here you can see a shallow zigzag, that's maybe a 2, whereas the one that we're going to stitch on is down here at about a 5. So even though the dial doesn't go all the way over 5, that would be all the way left, which is 5. The joys of learning. So our first stitch is definitely not perfect. It's the first one on the left. So I stopped when it started to get out of line. And then our second stitch, I lined up a lot better, but it's still not perfect. There's some smaller spots. There's one spot here where it missed a stitch. And then it does kind of curve off straight here at the bottom. You know, it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than pins, so it's going to hold that straight, almost like a tack weld. Just hold it in position so we can put 3 more good stitches and make a nice seam. Able to get quite a few repairs done on this sail today. This top seam was the biggest one. It was a hole, and now it's not. So it's definitely some amateur level stitching, but not bad for my first day. I mean, it's gonna work. That's all that matters. Did quite a few repairs. We're gonna remount the sliders and get it out for a sail tomorrow. Well, I tried to get some time lapse of me putting the mainsail back on the boom and the mast back in the tracks, really, but it looks like the GoPro froze. So nice one, GoPro. We're gonna throw the jib. We got 2 jibs, one's in really rough shape and one's in pretty good shape, so we're gonna throw the good shape jib on the forestay and just have a look, make sure that everything's happy for tomorrow's first sail of Seajay. freshwater pump is not firing. We checked the fuse, seems fine. I checked the wiring and it seems fine as well. So it must be the pump. We're gonna probably pull it out, put the new one in. Luckily we grabbed a spare because this one was starting to sound rough, and we bought an inexpensive pump so we could carry a spare. And then I'll have a look at this one, see if I can fix her up. I don't know, something stuck it up. It just got stuck. I just gave it a whack. I turned it on, I gave it a whack, and it spat out whatever it was stuck on. There she goes. Back to shaking the whole boat. That's all put back together. Let's give her the old test.
Don't show all our dirty dishes.
Well, we only have dirty dishes because we had a broken pump. Now we got air to bleed. And the pump's working.
Good job. The pump didn't sound great again, and it stopped working again.
So same problem. Just doesn't want to clear this time, so we're gonna take it out. I don't want to say it's getting old. It's not that old. Electric motor oil. We're into it now, dear. So the pump motor's fine. We're able to test it by jumpering these two together. Obviously they're not clean, but the motor's functioning, so it's something in the pressure switch again. I was able to get it open. These are just way too corroded, and even inside the switch you can see some corrosion. Okay. If you look at all these dirty Q-tips, all of that dirt came off of the electrical connections between this wire and this wire through this pressure switch. So all that corrosion is what was causing it to function poorly and eventually quit. We were trying to wait one more day to head into Comox, but it's starting to get a little swelly. There's no wind, so the boat is just spinning on its own accord. The wind usually keeps us in the facing bow to the swell. Without the wind, we're just kind of bobbing around and things are falling. It's only supposed to get worse. It's supposed to be about twice the swell height in a couple hours. So instead of staying here and being uncomfortable all day, being unproductive, we're gonna head into harbor and see if we can actually get a few things done. We've got a broken down water pump. We've got I don't even know, the water bag was leaking again. The batteries are a constant problem, so we're gonna just go. we can't even sail over there because there's no wind. I'm gonna start it and put it in low forward and just point us towards the swell to at least relieve the side to side here.